Hey, good evening, guys. This is Dr. B. I just wanted to take a moment and just share some thoughts with you. There's a lot going on in the world around us today. I hadn't weighed in on a lot that's happening and taking place today because, unfortunately, on social media, it's very difficult to have a real conversation about real issues and real happenings and real occurrences, especially with people who are already emotionally charged and they are listening with their eyes and not hearing with their ears or their heart. And when we see the anger and the destruction that's happening and taking place today, when we see people rioting in the streets and when we see them looting and burning down their own local businesses that support the community and the people of the community, there's something greater at work here. I know people are angry. I get it. I understand that. Anytime there is a loss of life, it's tragic. And we get emotional about that. And in certain instances, we should. But when we take to violence and criminal activity, even though it's been done to us, and I know many people are not going to want to hear this because they say, oh, brother, we've been suffering for so long and for so many years, and we're not the only people of the earth who suffered and are suffering. Suffering is not unique to us, but at the same time, we don't respond to injustice with injustice. We don't respond to violence with violence. Our leaders have taught us over the years and the centuries that that is just not the way to handle matters. And when we do such things as destroy our own communities, destroy the livelihood of the people who are in need of those services in the community, there's a greater thing at work here. And I want to plead to people of color, black folk, who are taking violence to the street. We have witnessed many of our people protest in such a manner in which they've gotten much things done without the destruction and degradation of our communities. Think about the long-term ramifications of the actions that you're doing and the actions that you're taking today and how they will ripple effect throughout the years and even throughout the generations. There is a better way. There is always a better way. We do have people who are willing to sit and listen and come to the table and make change and affect change. But we have to also be willing to do that and not just automatically respond out of anger and hatred and rage, which leads to and will lead to further violence on both sides. Because one life is tragic enough, but if what is taking place continues to happen, there'll be more life lost on both sides if we don't get a handle on our emotions and get them in check. Also, think about the timing of things. We seem to go through this cycle every time there's major things happening in our world, in our government, in our economy. Certain uprises happen and take place, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do watch and read and study and know that there are powers at work who are implementing things and putting things into play that seem to fuel around certain times of the year, especially when it comes to elections and the next elected official in the highest office in the land. We've seen it escalate over the years, the hatred, the killing, the looting, the violence, the mayhem. People, we gotta wake up. We gotta see what's really happening and what's really taking place. It's very interesting that black folk can take it to the street when one of theirs is killed by a white man, but they're not as quick to take it to the streets when a black man kills a black man, when a man kills a woman, when a pedophile hurts a child. Why is there this? We only take it to the streets when the white man has done something to us. But we're silent on so many other issues, doing so many other times. It is time to think. It is time to allow the mind to reason and to see beyond the distractions and the smoke screens and the things that are happening and taking place in the world around us. And if we don't, as people of color, get a handle on what's happening in and to our communities, we won't have a community. We won't even have a unification of a people who could come together on any subject matter as strong and as united. And don't misunderstand me when I say this. It's not necessarily about Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. And when we as a people make it about all lives and stop making it about a black issue or a white issue, a Republican issue or a Democratic issue, a rich issue or a poor issue, and we make it about a people issue and discuss what's best for the people, not what the system says is best for the people, because that may not be what's best for all people. We have to decide what's best for us as a people who were once a people under God, a nation under God. And because we no longer recognize and acknowledge the Almighty as the God of this nation, and we submit to Him, we will continue to have the chaos, the violence, the murder, the mayhem, and etc. My prayer is for the family of the lost. My prayer is for the families who've been impacted on both sides. My prayer is for the people who will be impacted as a result of what's happening and taking place in the street. I pray that we would find a common ground to come together and reason together and work together and not continue to pull apart and destroy the fabric of what has been built and what is being built. We were at a place to where our nation and economy, despite what people were saying, was growing and booming and recharging itself. And now, through the pandemic, the planned demic has derailed so much, including the escalation of violence and mayhem, the de-escalation of an economy that was growing and on the surge of returning to a great day and a great time to where people were employed, starting businesses, generating income. Companies were returning. Factories were reopening. If you get away from the mainstream news that is not really news, but it's more opinions and views, and read and research and study, you will see there were much more things happening behind the scenes to build a stronger and a better nation than we have. And if we allow that to be eroded and taken away from and destroyed and taken down, we got to start all over again. And God forbid we start all over with the wrong people at the helm, leading us into further paths of destruction. So I pray that you be at peace today, that your mind and your heart be at peace today, and you not be troubled, nor be afraid, but know God is with you, and call upon him in your hour of trouble, and he will hear you and answer you. It's been Dr. B, just sharing from my heart concerning the day and time in which we're living. Take care. God bless. And shalom.